My name is Linnea, and I'm about to explain a little bit about a gift that I have since I was quite young. And if people have heard of me, you know that I do something where I'm able to connect on the other side. I'm able to give you messages of enlightenment and hope to let you know that the soul is eternal. My work is very special to me, and I'm very, very happy that I can provide some communication with others that have gone over on the other side. It's called spirit communication, and what I do is I will meet with people or walk into a room, and I'm able to pick up evidentiary information and also to tell you about things called apports, A-P-P-O-R-T-S. An apport is something that I might mention to you, and the scenario happens that you do receive it, and that's letting you know that the spirit world is trying to communicate with you from the other side. Mediumship has been around for many, many centuries. There are many famous mediums, and it is an interesting way to approach the subject of eternal life. This particular time of year is spring, and everything is in a renewal stage right now, and with the holidays of Easter and Passover, it is a wonderful time to contemplate the eternity of the soul. I will indicate that this gift came to me quite early in my life. I was about 4 years old, and I was at my grandmother's remarriage ceremony, and I was speaking with her, and I was able to bring back a lady named Mary Elizabeth. And it turned out that Mary Elizabeth had been the mother of the children my grandmother was now a stepmother to. My grandmother then explained to me that my great-grandmother had been gifted with this, and she told me that I was blessed to have something so special to share with the world. There is something called a caul, C-A-U-L, and it's a very light membrane, and some people are born with that. I was so born with the caul, C-A-U-L, and it is said if you are born with the caul, sometimes you have the gift of second sight. So I encourage people to, think about the possibilities of the other side, to think about communication with people that we think we have lost, but we know that we haven't because we're able to make that connection with them on the other side. And I tell people to have an open mind and an open heart. And if you have that energy to try to seek out the answers of afterlife, I think that that is one step forward in allowing you to make the cautious discovery that yes, there is something other than the earth plane, and there is something called eternal life. And I often mention the anchor of faith to people, and I do tell people that whatever you have been given from your early life, your foundations of faith from your family, or whether you've developed a concept of how you perceive the afterlife, hold on to that. I feel everyone needs that anchor to follow their pathway through life. And it is nice to know that the ones we've loved and the ones we've missed, physically, their bodies are not here anymore, but the energy of their spirit does continue on the other side. I often get asked questions as to if there's any specific faith in the world, and I just feel that to be ecumenical is probably the premise that I follow, which is to understand that there are many religions out there. They're all beautiful, they're all wonderful, and they all emulate the fact of eternal life. And if all of them are emulating the same premise, then all we need to do is concentrate on the aspect of faith that we have been given and develop that as we go along. There are some things that are very endemic to this type of gift, and one of them is called prophecy. And it is said that if you do give someone information and it does turn out to be correct or it does come true, then your gift is a gift from the divine realm, and I consider mine to be as such. Many times I have said something to someone and it actually has become a reality, and what we're hoping to do with this venue is to have some people that have experienced this firsthand in their connection to me, and they will come in and they will explain some of the situations that have come to be true for them and has given them the hope and the desire to learn more about this, knowing that their families and loved ones watch over them with light and love. I would recommend that everyone that comes to understand some of this, keep a diary of your own experiences, because sometimes when you do write things down and they do come true for you, it means you're following your own intuitiveness, your own second sight, your own ability to maybe have a focus on what's good for you and what should come to you. And I always tell people too that your destiny can change. Even though someone might tell you something, you might change the circumstances, so sometimes the destiny does come out a little bit differently. But prophecy generally means that I am able to give you something to look forward to, and when it does become a reality, the message that I receive from the other side is just giving you that hope that somebody is guiding you and watching over you with light and love for always. I would ask to look at my website if you have a chance, linneastar.com. It does have testimonials from people that have written in about certain circumstances that have come to be valid for them. And I also often have questions about pets. A lot of people are wondering about an animal's soul. And luckily in the work that I do, I've had experiences where the pet has come back to bear witness to the eternity of that connection. So not only do humans have the ability to communicate with us from the other side, I have had great success with beloved animals because they do come back to share things with the owner, and the owner has walked away with great happiness knowing that that particular animal is still on the other side of life watching over what the family or the individual is doing with their life. I would tell people too that as you are curious about this and you have different questions, you can call me, you can write to me, you can email me on my website. I'd be happy to answer questions for people about certain aspects of this. And I often mention dreams. Sometimes we do receive spiritual messages from those on the other side giving us the instance of a dream, and I often have people write down in a dream log some of the messages that they receive, because you will find there is a pattern and the person is trying to communicate through the dream world to let you know that they're still trying to make contact with you. I would also tell you that I feel the soul is eternal, and through my work and through the communications that I'm able to achieve for people, they are able to understand that there is someone still trying to make a connection and establish the validity of the fact that the eternal life is something forever. The bodily life is temporary. It is not eternal. I would also say, too, that if you have certain objects of someone, pictures, pieces of jewelry, sometimes I am able to hold those items and I pick up the vibration of the person that it might represent. And sometimes I'm able to give you a pretty concise history of someone's background or someone's personality by holding an object like that. Also, too, sometimes I have walked into a home, especially an older home, and I'm able to pick up the vibration of the people that might have built it or might have owned it or might have lived there, and that's also giving the credibility that the soul continues on. And the world we live in is just multifaceted. There is an afterlife that we all can look forward to. I feel that there are many aspects of this work that are not completely understood, so by doing the venue that we're doing right now, we're giving different examples and different witnesses that will come in to verify certain things that have come true for them. I seem to have a very great propensity for predicting babies, and I've recently received many emails about children that are now here on the earth plane, and I might have told the family that a baby boy was coming or a baby girl was coming, and in some instances I get the date, in some instances I get the name, and that's very gratifying for me, because for someone to take the time to write to me and tell me that we were together and I gave them that connection and the baby is now here, it's a true celebration of life, and it's letting us know that someone on the other side is giving us a heads up as to beautiful new children that will come to join the earth plane. I will say that having this gift is a blessing. Most of the time, sometimes it's not a blessing as I would have it, but I am trying to use it just to show the world that the soul does continue on. And I do have a special connection to my own mother. And my mother was very conducive to this because her grandmother was a medium, my great-grandmother was a medium, and my mother often nurtured me and encouraged me to use this gift for the goodness that it was intended as it was given to me, and that is what I am trying to do. So I do encourage people to think about this, to write down your own experiences, and to write down your dreams, because I think all of our relatives on the other side are trying to contact us. And I have found, too, that when I have told someone about an apport or a situation that they are going to receive regarding the person's communication from afterlife, it brings a great deal of comfort to know that that particular apport has been received, whether it's a prophecy, whether it's just a situation involving a symbol of some kind. And by having the different guests come on to verify certain apports that have been received from the other side, it is giving validity to the fact that all of us can tap into this all of us can utilize this, and all of us can realize that the people we've loved have not really left us. My belief is that the soul is the energy that makes us who we are, and once the body is no longer the vessel for that soul, the soul's energy continues on to the afterlife, where it remains for always. And some of the work that I do does substantiate this. Some of the apports that have been received by various clients and friends does tell me that the world, does have this connection to eternal life. And I would encourage people just to go into your own background and try to think of anything that you have received that was maybe a coincidence and you couldn't really understand where it came from. And that's called synchronicity. Synchronicity is not a coincidence. Synchronicity means that the universe is trying to tap you on the shoulder to tell you, hey, look at this. It's really too incredible to be a coincidence. So synchronicity happens a lot in my work. Apports happen a lot in my work. Prophecies happen a lot in my work. So when you put it all together and you look at the results of the things that are going on with different venues I'm involved in, you have to understand that I am getting a communication from someone else who wants you to know that their existence is still validated. Oftentimes on the other side they will do electrical things to let us know and to get their attention. And I have instances where people have told me that their computers go on, that their telephones ring, or that the lights go out, and they have felt that this might have been the communication from a father, a mother, a family member, and that's very, very common. So I encourage people to make note of that if that should happen. It could be somebody on the other side trying to get your attention to let you know that they're still very much connected to the earth plane. Also, in houses where spirits have been communicating, sometimes the spirit is earthbound and they're trying to make the connection that they're still in the original home that they either built or they lived in as a younger person, and sometimes they want to stay, and sometimes you can ask them to leave if you're not comfortable with them staying around you. The other thing I also mention is meditation. In meditation, you're able to clear your mind, relieve stress, and to take yourself up to another level to be a little more conducive to this. So I often utilize meditation techniques in helping people to eliminate some of the stresses and allow the communication to come through a little more freely. I often advise people about Feng Shui. Feng Shui is an ancient Chinese form of kind of declutterizing your environment, whether it's in the home or whether it's in your workplace. And sometimes that's just maybe having running water or having a fountain of some kind, having an aquarium with fish tank in it, arranging your furniture so it's conducive to the energy that comes into your vibration, helping your work be more successful, or helping your home be a more peaceful kind of environment for you. So there's many techniques to use. I often discuss yoga with different people because sometimes yoga is able to take you to another level and it opens up your vibration. And I often discuss chakras. Chakras are the energy points that start from the top of your head and work your way down to the solar plexus area of the body. And more often than not, when your chakras are aligned completely, when they are in complete alignment with your system, your body is able to function at a more conducive level for success. So I welcome the opportunity to share these aspects of my gift with you. I look forward to giving you affirmations of some of the things I've been involved with. And again, I just say thank you to everyone for listening and watching, and blessings. This is the time of the year when all of us are having an awakening. It is springtime and all of the flowers, the grass, the trees are blossoming again. And it's the beautiful spiritual time of Easter and Passover, and a wonderful time to think about the eternity of the soul and how life goes full circle. I do have a lovely person I'd like to introduce today who is privy to a wonderful affirmation of spirit communication from a loved one on the other side. She will share with you this wonderful message of comfort and hope that helped the family go through a rather trying time. I would like to introduce this lovely lady, Judy Sofrin, and Judy is going to share with us an affirmation of a message that she received from the other side during a very, very difficult time in the family, but it gave them the beacon of hope, and maybe you could explain the situation to the audience.
Thank you, Linnea, for having me as a guest today on the show. I appreciate it. I would love to share with everybody my experience that I had. My dad took ill sometime in December, and as you know, because you are in my office building with me. Every day you and I would see each other, and I would say to myself, why is Linnea asking me how my dad is? As you know, you ask me that every day, and I'd say to my husband, why is Linnea asking me about my dad? Time went on, Christmas came and went, and then my dad went into the hospital 3 days after Christmas. And things were not good, but every day you and I would chat, and you would ask me how my dad was. Things were going downhill pretty fast with my dad, with his health. And we would chat every day, and my husband asked you, how would we know when the end is coming near? Because they shared with us at the nursing home and the hospital that they thought time was coming close. And you had told my husband that he would get a message from my mother. And the ever skeptic that my husband is said, Linnea, what is she going to do, call me?
How long was your beautiful mother gone by this time?
My mother has been dead 16 years.
Right, and I never had the pleasure of meeting her.
Never, and I never shared her name with you or anything else. You just said to my husband, you'll get a message from Judy's mother. So the skeptic that my husband was just put it in the back of his brain and just plodded forward. We've been going to the nursing home, probably for about 3 weeks, and we became very close with a lot of the residents there because, you know, they're elderly people. They have a lot to share. They still have a lot of love to give to people.
It's a bonding experience for everyone.
Tremendous, tremendous. And this little old Italian woman befriended my husband, and every day he would sit with her and talk to her. He'd actually sit with her while she was having her meals and things like that. But this one particular day, he got off the elevator, and Camille came to my husband and said, who are you? And my husband David said, Camille, it's me. It's David. I see you every day here. How do you know it's not me? And she looked at David with a question mark on her face and said, you're Francis's boy. I have something for you, and you're a good boy. And she kissed him on the cheek. This totally blew my husband's mind. He came racing down to my dad's room, and he said, Judy, I have just seen your mother. And I said, what are you talking about? Your mother is here. She wants you to know that she's here. Linnea said I would see your mother, and I saw your mother.
Now, what was your lovely mother's name?
My mother's name was Frances.
Right, and this lovely lady at the facility wouldn't have the knowledge of that.
Not at all.
And I feel, and I think perhaps you might share that belief with me now, that somehow your mother's soul wanted to come to you at a time of great need, to give you the hope and the comfort to let you know that as a beautiful daughter, your mother was walking with you as you helped your father make that final journey to the eternal side of life.
Oh,
so I feel
absolutely.
the comfort level. I think your family was able to tangibly hold on to that and know the knowledge that your mother was waiting for him at Heaven's Gate.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that brought us at that time such comfort to know that my dad was going to pass on and his wife was going to be right there with him.
Well, I think the other thing, too, is the validity of having that experience with your husband and with you. That was your mother's way of saying, I'm watching over you, you're doing a beautiful job with him, and I'm waiting there when the soul will come to the other side. And my belief always is that the soul is eternal and our bodies are just temporary, and whatever faith you have, whatever it is, whatever faith you were given or whatever faith you developed along the road of life, if you can hold on to that anchor, and then you get the affirmation that guess what? They do watch over us with light and love. Now you have an electronic situation that was kind of important.
I would like to also just share with you that little Camille came down to my dad's room while the chaplain was there. And before the chaplain started to pray, she pulled her chair up in between my husband and myself and held our hands.
Okay.
And as the chaplain was done, she walked up to my dad and she stroked his face. She made the sign of the cross on his forehead. And she kissed him on the cheek, whispered something in his ear, and walked away and said to both my husband and myself, why did I meet you? Why am I here? So Camille didn't even know that she was being used as a vehicle.
Well, I'm going to say, too, that sometimes we do get messages like that, and they're called spiritual messengers. And we might not know why it's happening, we might not know the circumstances, but somehow we are given something to deliver from the other side. And I'm going to say that this lovely lady somehow picked up that your mother wanted to make that connection with you, and it did bring you the comfort and hope that I think you needed at that point in time.
Oh, totally agree. Totally. And to this day, we still go to the nursing home.
And visit her.
Once a week and visit her because she's so near and dear to my heart.
Right.
But again, on talking about the electronic message, again, you and I were having a discussion about my dad, and you told me that my dad was going to deliver to me an electronic message. And again, I said, how is that going to happen?
Okay.
And the day that he passed away, that evening, he died at 4:15 in the morning, but that night we left the nursing home about midnight. I came home and I plugged my cell phone in, which I just used my cell phone, never used my home phone, always my cell phone. And I plugged it in next to the bed, and at 4:15 when the telephone rang, it was not my cell phone that rang, it was my home phone that rang.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, odd, but I knew what the call was going to be. I went to pick up my cell phone to call my sister. My phone was completely dead. I sleep with my television on. My television went out at that time. So trying to get to the nursing home to say my final goodbyes to my dad, we never shut any lights off or anything else. And so I got to the nursing home, left my cell phone in the car, went in, said my goodbyes to my dad. When I came out, my cell phone was completely charged. And when I came home, my television was back on. I had great difficulty in the days to come to use my fax machine at work or my scanner or my computer. I couldn't get them to work. They wouldn't go on. I couldn't get a fax to go through. My lights at the house, I blew light bulbs.
Well, that's very wonderful that you're able to notice that, because sometimes when the spirit is making its transition to the other side, my belief, my feeling is that the energy of the soul is very electrical. It's electrical. The body is no longer the vessel for it. The energy journeys on to eternal life. Sometimes they will do electronic things to get your attention, the telephone, the television, your electronic equipment, and that could have been his way of just saying, I'm around you. I'm still very, very tangible. I'm letting you know that. In our connection with your wonderful dad's journey to the other side, were there any other communications that made you feel that he was there and making you feel better?
Oh,
Can you remember
absolutely. I think it was probably a week or so after he had passed and we had had the funeral and everything else. You had come down to visit with me and have some coffee, and we were chatting, and I was sharing with you just about how sad I was that he had passed away and everything that had gone on. And as you and I were talking, you kept saying, don't push me, don't push me. No, I don't want to arm wrestle with you. No, I don't want to arm wrestle with you. And I laughed at you and I said, how would you know that, Linnea? And you said to me, what are you talking about? I said, where my dad went to the Adult Day Center, he was the arm wrestling champ. And we only had found that out a week before he had passed away. One of his friends had come to visit him in the nursing home and told us that my dad loved to arm wrestle. I never would have known because he didn't share that with any of us.
Well, I think he was trying to maybe give you a personal, humorous event to make you feel a little bit better. And I know that that's not the easiest thing to do, but I remember him showing me that movement, and I didn't want to say it, and he said, tell her, and I think that was to lighten up your situation, to let you know that everything was okay on the other side.
And you had also shared with me that he wanted me to know that he was with my mother by saying, tell her to watch Kristen the Lion on YouTube.
Right.
And I had watched that video, and it gave me great comfort to know that my dad was with my mother in a beautiful place.
And sometimes the message is spiritual, and sometimes it's comedic. They have great senses of humor,
Oh,
and I think your dad had a sense of humor anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely. His picture is on the mantle at in my office, and he watches me every single day, and he keeps a good eye on me.
Well, we send him love and light, and he sends us his blessing. And I think especially around this time of the year with spring, the holidays, Easter, Passover, that's to let us know not only does the earth renew itself, but so does the soul as it makes its journey through the earth plane and then goes to eternal light and then gives us messages of light and love. So I really appreciate the fact that you were able to come today and you were able to share everything with us. And I'm wondering, do you feel that the connections from your wonderful mother, was that an ability to help everyone walk through that pathway? Because it must have been so devastating.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful to know that my mother was right beside me throughout the whole thing. That she came and that she was there for my dad and that they're together.
And you know that.
I do.
And the message is always the same. Whatever faith you have, hold on to it, because the soul is eternal and they watch over us with light and love.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Love you. Thank you.
So I'd like to thank Judy for joining us today and giving us an affirmation of her experience with communication from the other side. And as we continue, there will be different examples from different clients who will come in and share with you some of the experiences that they have had, letting them know through synchronicity, through apports, through prophecies, that the soul is eternal and continues on the other side and watches over us with light and love. So again, I share my gift with you. I hope that you're going to be informed with it, and I enjoy the ability to share it and to have people understand exactly what communication is and that the soul goes on for always. Thank you.